Time now for perspective. Today in Turkey, the hearing resumes of Taner Kilic, a human rights lawyer and the chair for Amnesty International in the country. He's been in jail for more than a year on terrorism offenses. Those charges are based on a claim by the prosecution that Kilic had the encrypted mobile messaging app Bylock on his phone. But Turkish authorities claim the app is used by followers of the exiled cleric Fethullah Gulen, blamed for the failed coup back in 2016. But a recent police report concluded that there was no evidence to back up the chief basis of the charges against him. Our guest today is Amnesty's director in Turkey, Idil Eser. Thank you for coming in to speak to us. Is it optimistic to think Kilic might be released this week?
Well, I definitely hope so, because, we have proved and we have been asking for the police report for about 6 months. And finally it arrived, and it also agrees with the reports that we provided, independent experts reports, that he didn't have any Bylock on his mobile. And it's the only evidence against him, according to prosecutor, that he's a member of the Gulenist organization. Unfortunately, since the judiciary is not exactly independent and tend to give political decisions, I cannot say for sure that he will be released today, but I certainly hope so. We are still on trial with him. Today is our trial date. And for him and for his family, I hope that he will be released, because he's a very passionate human rights defender and a very good refugee lawyer.
And do you or his family have any idea about what condition he's in?
Well, he is staying in a ward which is overcrowded, but he's passionate, determined, and wanting to continue his fight on and work on human rights.
And in about a month after Kilic was jailed, you and 9 other activists, the so-called Istanbul 10,
yes,
you were detained.
Yes.
Tell us about that experience.
I was just attending a workshop with other human rights defenders on digital security and how to deal with secondary trauma because of the situation of human rights in Turkey. The police raided the workshop, and we stayed in 3 different detention centers for 12 days. And we were just questioned by the police at the last day. Then we were taken to court and arrested. And because of the international pressure, all of us were released after 4 months. It was a tiring experience, I should say, because the 3 of the women were kept in Istanbul prison, and we were taken into a maximum security prison in Silivri, which is basically the highest security prison in Turkey. And it's built for males. Prisoners, and we were not allowed to stay together with my co-defendants. So it was a tiring experience and very boring, I should say.
Any idea why they released you and not Kilic in addition to the Istanbul 10?
Well, I think we were released because we were a bigger group. The charges were far more ridiculous in our case, because we were, the prosecutor claimed that we were trying to arrange a second coup, and we were a member of, or either making propaganda for 3 different terrorist organizations simultaneously, which have very different ideologies. So the ridiculousness of the charges were obvious from the start. And it's very hard to connect any of us to any terrorist organization. In Taner's case, the unfortunate thing was his sister was married to a person who is believed to be a Gulenist. I think that's why they focused more on Taner and more reluctant to let him go.
And that's been one of the main criticisms since the failed coup attempt. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan launching this purge. About 160,000 people have been detained. Is there a sense of mistrust or paranoia in the society that anyone could be ensnared?
Yes, and I would say it's not paranoia. It's quite justified, because Many people have been detained, arrested because of tweets that oppose the official ideology, official discourse. So anything can happen. It's quite arbitrary. That's one of the main problems. You cannot forecast what will happen when you do a certain thing. Nothing may happen. Something serious may happen. So it makes life quite unpredictable and uneasy to work for human rights defenders, because every human rights defender I know have almost lost their job, being detained, arrested, or still on trial, like I am.
And that sets the scene for this weekend's elections. Polls suggesting it might actually be closer than what was expected.
I think, I don't think the polls are reliable because the old voting patterns have changed, shifted significantly. No one is answering the polling companies quite honestly. So I think it will be a close call. I think there's also a chance the government may lose the majority in the parliament, and the presidential election may go to the second round. So it will be quite interesting to watch.
And at the same time, Recep Tayyip Erdogan leading this transition of Turkey's government to become this sort of supercharged presidency. And there are fears, I don't know if it's hyperbole or not, there are fears that if he is reelected, he'll be able to do anything he wants. Does that seem like an exaggeration to you?
If he has the majority in the parliament as well, yes. I mean, he will be able to do anything he wants. It's not an exaggeration. It is the powers that have been assigned to the president. So,
and Turkey, the way we see it today, with 160,000 people detained in the post-coup purge, how drastic of a difference is this from the Turkey that you saw growing up?
Very, very different. I mean, Turkey has never been a fully democratic, rule of law kind of state. I mean, I have lived through different coup attempts, different coups, different mini civil war periods, but this is unprecedented on many, many levels. Nobody has lost their job during the military coup, and some semblance of law was still there during the military regime in 1980s. That's what makes this period quite different in many aspects.
Idil Eser, thank you for coming in today. Amnesty's director in Turkey will be following the case of Taner Kilic as well as the hearing begins today.